Kyrie Irving has some of the best handles in NBA history, but this is straight up disrespecting your opponent. Pulling off a streetball move in an NBA game is almost blasphemous, but Steve Francis did it often. And combining a Kyrie Irving type of handles with Ja Morant type of nuclear explosiveness, Steve Francis was one of the most electrifying players of the 2000s. And along with him, there were a few others from that era that deserve their own video.
So sit back, cause this is going to be fun. What up everybody, my name is Stefan and this is Heat Check. Let's get into it.
Besides his talent and the career 18 points per game, what really made the franchise super popular among fans was his flashiness. Oftentimes he would cross an opponent, but then instead of going forward, Francis would come back for another move, just like they did it on the streets. He didn't just have great handles, but was disrespectful with it. This showmanship would stop the offensive flow, so his teammates and especially coaches didn't enjoy it, but the fans absolutely loved it. And even though he was only 6'3" or 190, Francis was freakishly athletic. He would go full speed to the rim and catapult for a dunk regardless of who was in front. The smaller size and his ability to contort his body mid-air made for some stunning looking dunks. This was the reason why Francis was invited to the slam dunk contest as a rookie, and actually did great, but he will forever be overshadowed by one of the greatest performances in slam dunk history by Vince Carter. Still, the offensive production and especially the style made him a 3-time All-Star while on the Rockets, but the lack of success and only one playoff appearance, which was a first-round exit, was the main reason he got traded from Houston to Orlando and then to the Knicks a few years later. So from then on, it's pretty much downhill for him as attitude issues and injuries plagued him during those years. Francis only played 9 seasons in the league, and this is probably why he's often forgotten in NBA conversations.
Next up was a player that was a star in the NBA but a legend in China.
This is one of my all-time favorite dunks and super underrated in my opinion. A reverse alley-oop one-handed flush, all that by a 6'2" or 188 Stefan Marbury. And this is one of my all-time favorite passes and the sole reason for me throwing away countless turnovers on the playground. Starbury is another player with an insane career mixtape. When you think of speed, Allen Iverson is the guy that comes to mind from that era. But in his New Jersey Nets years, Stefan was just as unguardable with his lightning quickness, the crossover, and he also had the tremendous hang time for dunks, but to me, just as spectacular, the up and under layups. Kobe, Shaq, and the Lakers witnessed all of this in 2001 and saw Marbury count to 50 on his point total, which would end up being his career high. Although he was only a 2-time All-Star, Steph made it count as one of those appearances was possibly the greatest All-Star games in NBA history, as the East came back from down 21 in the fourth all the way to win it in dramatic fashion. And the catalyst for that was Marbury himself, who came up super clutch, hitting 2 threes in a row in the final moments of the game. A career 19-point and 7.5 assist player, Marbury provided a lot of excitement for the crowd, whether that was during his early days in Minnesota, his peak with the Nets and the Suns, or his NBA decline with the Knicks, where he was actually teammates with Steve Francis. And similarly, his attitude had a lot to do with him ending his NBA career at only 31 years of age. His basketball story was far from over though, as Stefan achieved true legendary status in China, where in 9 seasons won multiple championships and became so beloved and iconic there that they even built him a statue.
They said I was old, they said I can't play no more, the critics said I can't do it no more.
Moving on, if this player played in today's social media era, he would have broken Twitter.
You've all seen possibly the greatest pass in NBA history by Jason Williams. Thing is, he gave us something similar each and every night he stepped on the floor. That was just a style of play that was light years ahead of his time. Put him in today's NBA and he still would be the flashiest. Look at this, a cross-court behind-the-back pass on the money for the layup. Then a casual wraparound look-away throw similar to the one from Stefan Marbury. And how do you even think of the idea of attempting this hop fake behind the back into a jumper for the swish? J-Will made a legendary defender in Gary Payton attempt to trip him after he was left in the dust on this iconic play. With all that flavor in his game, White Chocolate is one of the most perfect NBA nicknames. As you watch this sequence, what I'm stunned by with Williams is that he was far from the quickest, but had an unbelievable fluidity to his dribble and the overall game. You see the little hop in his step almost every time in the open court. It almost seems like he's walking down there while at the same time being unstoppable for the opponent. His insane highlights would lead you to believe that he played in Sacramento for like a decade, when in fact he was there for only 3 seasons surprisingly. He was then traded to the Grizzlies, where Williams spent 4 seasons without too much success, before going to the Miami Heat. Now as a veteran, he was far less flashy and more focused on his role on this championship contending team, with Dwayne Wade, Shaq, Gary Payton, and Antoine Walker. And White Chocolate was able to crown his electrifying career with a ring in 2006. And even though he was never an all-star with a modest scoring of 10.5 points along with 6 assists per game, Jason Williams was one of the most exciting players to ever play this game.
And number 4, this shifty guard has some of the craziest mix of poster dunks and deadly crossovers.
Baron Davis is most known for his insane dunk on Kirilenko in the playoffs, but in his early days with the Hornets, Davis had just as spectacular facial dunks. Watch him go up chest to chest against the much bigger Jermaine O'Neal, then cocking it back and throwing it down. Again, against KG, a great rim protector, B Diddy goes right at him and literally stuffs the ball in his face. This is such an underrated dunk. If you check out his career highlights, you'll see a bunch of these dunks, whether it's off of one leg or these 2 feet hops that I love. All of that at 6'3" or 190, challenging much bigger opponents at the rim. Dude could even make a layup look amazing as he once again goes chest to chest but does a 360 off of that bump and somehow finds the rim. Then check out these deadly handles, the shake and bake, the jump, mid-air adjustment against 2 defenders for the up and under spectacular finish. And watch him completely embarrass his opponent at the rookie challenge by literally dropping him to the floor. His lightning quick snatchback in combination with a shifty style of play made him very tough to handle defensively, as you can see. Davis never really had a great team around him, and although he made the playoffs in 7 out of his 11 seasons, his biggest success is that second round with the Golden State We Believe team. Still a solid 16-point and 7 assist career along with an absolutely sick mixtape.
Ashburn, who could run the baseline. Davis, that'll be counted on a shot attempt. No! It's gotta go!
These were some of the flashiest players of the 2000s and ones that often get forgotten or underrated.
So let me know in the comments who is your favorite and who would you add to this list. That's it for now. Subscribe and talk to you in the next one. Peace out. Peace!